How different was these biker gangs like Hell's Angels versus the Bonanno, the Gambino, the Colombo family? Who was more ruthless? Was it more you guys?
I think that and this is what I'll say. I have to define this. In the mob, it's violence on violence. The violence is on other members. In the Outlaw Motorcycle Club, it's other people in the culture. It's a little bit. I think it's a little bit spread out more. But this is one of the things I tell people. People will make comments to me, cavalier comments. Oh, the guy wound up getting killed. What did he do? Well, he informed on some people. Well, I mean, everybody knows what the culture is about. And I'm gonna make a comment because you'll probably get some hate mail. The club, they hate it when you call it gangs. I mean, that's, you describe it any way you want. It doesn't.
Why? Why is that?
They just don't want to be called a gang. They want to be called a club.
They want to be called a club.
A club.
Is it because of a tax benefit? Is it because of the membership?
It's because of in a courtroom. You get in a courtroom, and this gang this and this gang that, and one of the things in my 2011 trial, my daughter's my attorney. And she was hammering the judge. I don't want them calling the Hells Angels a gang in front of the jury.
You don't want, or she doesn't want?
She doesn't want to, because it makes me look bad as her client. It paints a picture that I'm a bad guy. We hammered on that. That was one of the things we didn't want the jury exposed to. The other thing, which you might find really interesting, and I came up with this question: how many people on the jury watch Sons of Anarchy? And everybody, the whole room, there was like a panel of 76 jurors and they're being drawn from. Everybody raised their hand. And as the jurors got interviewed, the next question was, do you believe that the leader knows what every individual is doing and all the orders come from the top? And anybody that said yes, we disqualify them. And what my daughter was trying to do was set up a mistrial. And the Judge Wu was smart enough to see what was happening, and he insisted that we make a deal. He goes, look, he told the U.S. attorney, and I was pretty brave for the judge. He said, you want this to be your career case. And he goes, it's not. You don't have that kind of case. And I was sitting over there kind of thinking, oh, man, I'm getting out of this one. And he looked at me and he said, and you, Mr. Christie, he goes, God only knows what you got away with the last 40 years. He goes, I want you guys to go down there, make an agreement in Judge Walter's court, and come back with a deal. We went down there. We came back. We got an agreement. We came back, and we both walked in the courtroom, the prosecutors and the feds and my daughter and investigators and myself. And Judge Wu said in open court, he goes, obviously we've got an agreement because both sides look pissed off. And that was his
that makes sense, though.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
Makes sense. Yeah.
That was his philosophy, that if both sides were mad, we probably got a decent agreement here.
What were you guys against? What was the Hells Angels against? Like, for example, you know how when I understand the enemy is Mongols, or the enemy is this, or the enemy is that, but what were some values? Like, were you pro-America? Were you nobody messes with it? Because I know now it's international, now it's all over the place. But was there anything, a lot of former vets? So what were you against? What were you for?
Well, certainly patriotic Americans. I mean, Trump recently himself said the Hells Angels were patriots. I don't know if he believes
He's the only president that would ever say that.
Yeah, I mean,
Hells Angels are patriots.
And I was amazing, But I want to say something. He went to that trial in New York. Do you know one of the people that showed up several times was Chuck Zito, former New York Hells Angel.
Wow.
Him and Trump apparently know each other, and they showed up. But getting back on the subject, we're patriots. A lot of veterans. The club was established from veterans. I mean, I don't think at one time there were any non-veterans in the club. I tried to create a rule that never really got off the ground. I wanted to make it a automatic kick out if anybody was caught dealing with any terrorist organizations, like selling, buying weapons, narcotics, information, whatever it would be. And I don't know if it went over everybody's head or if people weren't worried about it. It just kind of stagnated and, never got officially presented for a vote. But I think, all outlaw bike clubs are patriotic, based in veterans, ex-military.
So, question for you. Sometimes I watch how these people come from other countries here illegally.
Okay.
And you saw, like in Minnesota, the Somalis, they're taking billions of dollars on top of billions of dollars. And they're going in the streets and punking Americans, okay, and bullying Americans. They try to do the George Floyd protest in Huntington Beach. And I think you guys showed up. I don't know if you saw that or not. The biker gang showed up. Yeah, showed up.
This was recent.
Recent. This is 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever the timeline was, Rob. We can get the time to be fact-checked.
I was in Spain when all that took place.
You were in Spain when that happened, yeah. Where I'm going with this is, what would, the mob is no longer here. It's here, but it's not the way it was here in the 50s, 60s. Yeah, it's not. They can't because the business, you can't. How do you make money today? It's easy to catch you today.
Right.
But there were families in New York that would say, with what's happened in New York today, if the mob was still around, it wouldn't be happening today. Because there was a code. They kept the streets clean. And if, like you say, they killed each other, right? You said violence on violence, different than, Mongols and Hells Angels and different biker clubs. But how do you think if today you were still in there and you're seeing America publicly going through what it's going through in Minnesota, how do you think you guys would have handled it? Do you guys just stay out of it? Were there moments where you guys got involved and say, hey, listen, we may be who we are, but you don't cross the line and mess with America. This is the greatest country in the... Was there pride like that, or did you guys stay out of it?
Well, I think there was pride like that, but, when you start taking a political stance, it becomes very cloudy. Where do you draw the line? What do you do? I mean, there are particular individuals that would kill for this country because they did before. Do I promote it? I don't think so. I think that this is a court, a society of checks and balances through courtrooms, and you have to let the courts work their way, wind their way. I mean, otherwise you're gonna, it's like when I heard they were gonna disband the police when I was in Spain. I just kind of chuckled. I go, oh, that's great. Yeah, disband the police and see who winds up running the country. But these are hypothetical situations, hypothetical answers. I deal in facts and reality of what I can do and what I can't do. And
maybe history to see, what things you guys played a positive role in.
Look,
were there things that Hells Angels and Mongols played a positive role in?
Absolutely. I think if you were to really research the history of the Ventura area and the Ventura Hells Angels, I saw the Ventura Hells Angels as a benefit to the community. We ruled that town with an iron hand. We stopped drive-by shootings in that town. You weren't allowed to steal motorcycles in that town. We had rules, You weren't allowed to cook drugs in that town. If you got caught cooking drugs, it was a problem.
Anybody,
including Hells Angels. We had a Hells Angel that became an informant and actually wound up here in Florida, in the state of Florida. He was cooking drugs with a guy, and we found out. And I went to the guy, and the guy was so scared. He told me, he goes, so-and-so gave me permission. And I said, what are you talking about? I go, he would not do that. And he goes, no, he gave me permission, but I'm not allowed to talk about it.
So he threw another guy under the bus.
Yeah, he threw a Hell's Angel under the bus.
Was he telling the truth or was
yes,
he lying?
Yes, he was. The guy left. He got out of state. He thought,
and that's the guy that came here?
Yes. Yeah.
So those are things, okay, interesting that you play some kind of a positive role on...
look, I'm going to say something else. This is so funny. We didn't even allow bicycles to be stolen in the town. We had
Ventura.
people coming to us, and the clubhouse was like a public courthouse, if you will. People would come there, and they would decide in that room. We would decide in that room who was right, who was wrong, and we would say, okay, this is how this is going to be.
How was your relationship with cops? Did they like you guys?
The old cops liked us. The new cops said, these guys need to butt out of our business. This is our job.
Did you guys buy the old cops, or they just were some of them
no,
bought?
The Ventura cops were solid as they come. You know, I was very good friends with some of the cops, and I'll tell you how I maintained my friendship with them is I never asked them to cross their line, and they never asked me to cross my line. And we had a great understanding, a great relationship. There's a couple of cops, and I don't care what people say. You know, I got accused of being too friendly to the cops when I was leader of the club. You know, probably for 2 or 3 decades. They text me. You know, hey,
cops.
George, how you doing? Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, these are guys that were the chief, the assistant chief, the cop the district attorney Michael Bradbury that came after me. I had coffee with him in Ojai once. I tried to get him on the History Channel with me. I said, let's go on the History Channel and debate, you know. And he declined at the last minute, but he was entertaining the thought for a while.
Were you guys buying politicians or no? That was not your game. Your game's not politicians, not buying cops, not buying judges.
No. You know, and this sounds very cavalier and egotistical. I mean, we didn't have to do anything. Nobody messed with us in Ventura. Ventura was our town, and you know, lock, stock, and barrel. You know, we came to town in 1978, and if you come to town and you look around, I could take you on a tour of the town. I could take you to the Ventura Clubhouse. I could take you to the cross up on the hill where the police looked at us constantly and surveilled us and gathered information. I could take you to the, I think it's the Star Lounge on Main Street, where the other prominent based motorcycle club called the Orphans were in town. They were in town several years before us, probably 10 years before us. We fought it out with them on Main Street in front of the bar. The police rode up in their cars. This will give you an idea of the time frame. They had to roll their windows down by hand. You can see them, and they're rolling their windows down. And the message to me from the Ventura police, these are the old-timers, don't leave anybody in the street. And rolled the windows up, and they drove off, and we continued fighting these guys. We fought it out with the Orphans on Main Street in Ventura.
How nasty was it?
It was nasty. And 2 weeks later, mysteriously, their clubhouse burned down.
Mysteriously?
Yes.
Wow.
Unsolved.
Stuff like that happens, yeah.
It does happen,
Yeah.
you know. And spontaneous combustion of some sort. So they come back. The police come to the fire.
Yeah.
And the fire department comes, and what do? These guys do not like the Orphans. They sit in front of the Orphans Clubhouse and smoke cigarettes and drink coffee while it burns to the ground. And you can go there to this day, and you can look on the walls, on the back wall, and you can still see the smoke and flame marks from the fire from, I don't know what year it was, 78, 77,
Wow.
78.
When we set out to create a shoe that blends comfort, function, and luxury, we had the choice to make it fast. We had the choice to make it cheap. We chose neither. Instead, we chose Tuscany, Italy. We chose true Italian craftsmanship, each pair touched by 50 skilled hands. We chose patience, spending 2 years perfecting every detail, and we chose the finest quality at every step. Introducing the Future Looks Bright collection. Not rushed, not disposable, not ordinary. Rather, intentional, luxurious, timeless. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.